You all know I'm a big fan of conspiracy theories as long as they're harmless, fun ones such as, reptilians controlling the world, talking about like zippers on the sides of some powerful people's necks that reveal a giant lizard underneath the human skin suit. Flat Earth is always a classic fun one to play with. But then there's they're very dangerous ones, and I think one of them that's really taking a huge upswing in the amount of people that believe it is 5G causing the coronavirus. A month ago, this was a fucking joke across the entire internet. But now, in the last month, everyone's quarantined, locked down, desperate, bored, and I think they're getting fucking dumber. Because there's so many people that are now unironically believing 5G is the cause of coronavirus that I actually can't believe it. These same people probably believe chocolate milk comes from brown cows. It takes mere minutes of research outside of Facebook anti-vax groups, actual scientific research. It takes only minutes to immediately disprove that and find there's no connection between 5G towers and coronavirus. That shouldn't be shocking to the majority of people, but to some people, I'm speaking blasphemy. I am a puppet of the Illuminati to some people for saying that, because these people see the truth. These high school dropouts that failed every fucking course, no, they're the ones that understand the 5G connection to coronavirus, not the scientists, not the experts. These fucking limp-dicked fucking idiots sitting in their basement for fear that the government's listening to them through their alarm clock so they have a tinfoil hat and condom on. Those are the real intellectuals. And they're spreading this kind of shit on the internet, which is laughable and it's fun to make fun of. But now they're starting to set cell phone towers on fire? It's fucking crazy. It's getting actually dangerous now. So, how did this start? I'm not here to be a fucking science professor, so I'm not going to tackle every angle of this. I'm just going to point out the most common and the most obvious fallacies in this logic of 5G being the coronavirus culprit, the one that's really controlling it all, and how the government, big brothers, got us under their thumb. They don't want us to see the earth is really flat, so they're using coronavirus to keep us inside and erect more 5G towers. We'll start with the origin of this conspiracy, at least in regards to coronavirus. In China, Wuhan, a 5G tower was rolled out at the end of 2019, so just a little bit before coronavirus broke out, and people are attributing the tower as the cause. That is ground zero of coronavirus. The tower caused it. That's pretty much where that logic ends. And then as it spread to the United States, they're saying the 5G towers are the cause of coronavirus in the US. Not because it's contagious through, spreading and being around people, but because the towers themselves are emitting too much radiation and it's causing the coronavirus. And the coronavirus itself isn't even real. It's a made-up hoax to cover for radiation poisoning. I've spent a few hours researching the conspiracy theory and looking around what everyone says on Twitter in these circles that truly believe this stuff, and they seem to all agree that coronavirus itself isn't real. What it is just radiation sickness, because the symptoms of radiation sickness are similar to those that are being reported with coronavirus. So that's basically the whole conspiracy in a nutshell. And it is fucking ridiculous. So 5G towers have existed in the US since early 2019. While the idea of 5G has existed much longer, and most people seem to think we've had 5G for longer, we really didn't start getting 5G until early 2019 with actual towers and everything being built around the US. Those aren't make-believe. That's not like Tooth Fairy shit. It's real. You can go see those 5G towers in the real world, in person. It's not smoke and mirrors, no magic tricks. That shit is there, and it has been there since 2019. There were no cases of coronavirus in the US throughout all of 2019. And there were no cases of coronavirus in the US until the China incident where coronavirus started to explode. And then, you know how the story goes from there. It spread throughout the entire world. But they seem to think that it's not actually spreading from human to human contact. It's being transmitted via the beams from the towers of 5G. That seems to be their accepted belief. I'm going to immediately poke a hole in that. Israel has 7,400 cases of coronavirus with 39 dead. Israel has no 5G towers. None. So how the fuck can that happen by this logic? Some enlightened Twitter users will be quick to point out that the radiation sickness was transferred. Someone who was infected by a tower in the US or some other part of the world traveled to Israel and started spreading it that way. Well, that's impossible via your radiation sickness hypothesis, because radiation sickness isn't contagious. You watched Chernobyl on HBO and you think you understand everything there is to know about radiation. Well, I'll tell you one thing Chernobyl got wrong. You are not some kind of walking fucking virus with radiation sickness. If someone you know has radiation sickness, they cannot transfer that onto you. If their entire fucking clothes, their entire wardrobe is covered in dense radiation and they try and suffocate you with that, maybe. But as a whole, radiation sickness itself is not contagious. So you'd have to immediately throw out the radiation sickness hypothesis because it wouldn't be able to spread. It'd have to be coronavirus, which does exist and is very, very contagious, which is why people are being ordered to stay inside. If it was radiation poisoning, radiation sickness, it wouldn't matter if you were around 1,000 people. No one is going to catch that from you. It's easy to poke 1,000 different holes into this 5G coronavirus conspiracy. You can turn this shit into a fucking pincushion because it is so weak. But so many people still believe it just because I think they want to. They want to believe it's something bigger, like some like grand conspiracy, just the man trying to keep them down or something. It's so silly. If you look into it yourself, it's going to be hard not to laugh at it because the leaps and these conclusions they draw are so nonsensical. It's ridiculous. I just picked two quick ones to point out because those are the two most obvious ones that they have really no answer for that I've seen. And I'm sure there's going to be some comments on the video that immediately disregard shit and still try and promote the idea that 5G coronavirus thing is real, which is just pathetic. But anyway, I know I don't need to poke holes in it because it's already so goddamn silly if you even look at it for a second. I don't like having to be your fucking science teacher here. I graduated from university with a human sciences degree, so I do understand a lot of this stuff. Granted, I'm not as brushed up on the whole field as I used to be, because, I mean, I barely fucking use that knowledge anymore. But I do get it, and I understand where this fear comes from. You're locked inside, you're desperate, you're looking for answers, and you have no idea what else to turn to. So Twitter has this giant fucking platform full of lunatics that seem to believe this and are promoting it as a real thing. And since you're constantly on Twitter with nothing else to do besides jerk off and read garbage Twitter posts, you see this and you start to accept it. I get it, and I'm not blaming those people. But it is a very dangerous thing to just blindly follow this shit with no science and not doing any research on it at all. Now, what I do find interesting is there is a community of real scientists that are apprehensive about 5G's implementation and the future of 5G and what health implications it could have down the line. The conspiracy side of things is using this to promote the idea that scientists are afraid of it and they think that the scientists believe that it caused coronavirus. That couldn't be further from the truth. None of those scientists that are afraid of 5G's implications down the line have said anything about it being coronavirus related, which is what I'm focusing on. The scientists' main concern is they haven't been able to study the long-term health effects of what 5G could do in the future. There's nothing about coronavirus or anything like that. This community just wants a little more research done on 5G before it's implemented, and they think it's perhaps a bit rushed. It has nothing to do with the fucking scientists thinking that it's the cause of coronavirus. Again, this isn't a small community either. If you look up any 5G video on YouTube right now, it's overwhelmingly disliked with thousands of comments saying, "This is bullshit, don't trust them, rise up sheeple, it's time we take back our lives, don't let them control our minds, don't let anyone tell you what to believe," as they're being told what to believe by somebody else. I'm all for questioning the media and questioning sources and doing a lot of research to form your opinions, but I find it seriously hypocritical how this community keeps saying, "Don't trust anyone, but trust me." It makes no sense. Like, don't listen to anyone, don't let anyone tell you what to believe, as they're being told what to believe by some dude in his shit-stained underwear in a chat room somewhere. It's fucking silly. It's very hypocritical. Again, I'm all for questioning things you see in the media and online. I think that is the most healthy thing you can do. But when you start just entering an echo chamber and only looking up things that support what you want to believe, you're not getting anywhere and you're only making the problem worse. Now, I'm only focusing on the coronavirus aspect of this conspiracy theory. It goes much deeper with 5G. 5G itself is a rabbit hole for a crazy amount of conspiracies, especially on YouTube. For some reason, it seems a lot of YouTubers and YouTube commenters really believe that 5G is this ultimate boogeyman, like this final boss that's holding back the human species. Like, 5G is the one that's keeping us from growing wings and opening our third eye. It's weird. I don't know why everyone's latched on to 5G as this mega evil mastermind shit, but they have. But in regards to coronavirus, which is all I want to focus on, there is absolutely no possible way that 5G has caused coronavirus. You can just look at data, like real time, because it's only been a couple of months. You can see that 5G had no role to play. You can pretty much trace where coronavirus started in each area that it's in. It's right there at your fucking fingertips. You only need to look for a second in real, actual fucking sources outside of bad Twitter shitposts, anti-vax Facebook soccer mom groups. Just do real fucking research and form your own opinions, but this one is very silly, and lighting 5G cell phone towers on fire isn't doing anyone any good. You're causing more damage with the chemicals you put into the air from fucking burning that thing than the 5G arrays, the beams. This fear of cell phones and networking has existed for as long as communication has, and it's always been ridiculous. It's always been silly and laughable, but Twitter is the place that now, no matter how outlandish and how ridiculous a belief is, it's going to blow up and it's going to have a big movement behind it. It doesn't matter what it is. Like on Twitter, for example, there's whole communities of people that fuck dogs. Like this community that would never find a home anywhere finds a home on Twitter, and there's thousands of them. There's pages on Twitter that actively talk about fucking their dog and have tens of thousands of followers that all support that and do the same thing. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. So then you'll have these people that believe that cell phones are the evil, dangerous thing, and you'll have people that just want to feel like they're smarter than everyone else. You know, they're the ones that saw the truth, peeked behind the curtains and got the truth. So they'll believe these things, they'll spread it on Twitter, and then people that are gullible, bored, or just susceptible to misinformation start believing it, start getting real riled up, and then it leads to just absolute chaos, and that leads to setting a 5G tower on fire for no fucking reason. It's just crazy shit. I don't get why people are targeting 5G for coronavirus specifically, because there's really nothing there. The only piece of evidence that's even remotely true is that there was a 5G tower built in Wuhan a couple months before coronavirus outbreak. There's another thing I see tossed around how this one's just so fucking stupid. This community plotted out every major pandemic or every major flu and correlated it to mobile towers and networking, as if that has any correlation at all. So they have like the Spanish flu and then world's first prototype mobile network. Coincidence? No, I don't think so. And there's like 6 of these and it says 6 coincidences? That's impossible. It's just so fucking stupid. You can go through history and correlate every single one of those pandemics or flus to something else too. You know, peanut butter sandwiches invented in 1914. 4 years later, Spanish flu. Interesting. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches start getting packaged in the next one. It's just dumb. This is just such fucking terrible research and evidence. And yet people are believing it at face value, probably just out of boredom from quarantine. But I just wanted to talk about it because it's got me fucking fired up, because this shit is just wacky. This isn't the same kind of fun to laugh at conspiracy theory like flat earth and all that. This one has people believing it's fine for them to go outside and just spread fucking shit all over the place, especially in a time of pandemic like this, because they're convinced they know the truth that it's the cell phone towers, not coronavirus. So then it has them hurting everyone around them. I think it's just terrible. So I just wanted to talk about that. That's it. See ya. I'm sure by now the majority of you know that I fucking love conspiracy theories. I love to just spread a conspiracy theory's cheeks wide open as far as possible and just dive in and get to the meat of it and really see what it's all about. See if maybe there's any truth to it. I just love it. And luckily my nipples have been tickled thoroughly thanks to a brand new conspiracy theory popping off online about Wayfair trafficking human beings, children, through their website. I haven't been this interested in a conspiracy theory since the Berenstein Bears versus the Berenstein Bears multiversal collapse theory. This is an incredible conspiracy theory, and I can't wait to share it with all of you and present my findings. Spoiler alert, this is a pretty fucking wacky one. This one's like believing in reptilians or believing that Jesus Christ died because of Fortnite or something. This one is fucking insane. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. This conspiracy theory developed on the home of intellectuals, Reddit. It was blown open by someone on Reddit presenting some evidence that these expensive cabinets had names that matched missing children's reports. And from this, people started to just spiral out of control. Wow, oh wow, this is fucked up, this is weird. Why are these cabinets so expensive? And why does it have the name of a missing child? And there's cabinets that look identical with different names on them that all correspond to a missing child report. And it's not just cabinets, there's also pillows that are like $10,000 that also have the names that correspond to a missing child on them. And the question arose, well, why are they so expensive? And when there's other products similar to it, why are they like $30 versus the $10,000 for this one pillow with this weird name on it? So people then started to connect the dots. They started to see the strings that hold the universe together and really piece together the truth. And they came to the conclusion that people must be sex trafficking children through Wayfair, obviously, as any rational conclusion would lead you to. And when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, it's kind of fucking weird, right? Like, why are these cabinets so expensive? And a pillow, I'm not paying $10,000 for a pillow unless it's coming with 15 strippers or something and a nice giant fucking birthday cake. I mean, why is it worth $10,000? And then I decided to look into it today, and it goes deep. This is a fucking rabbit hole. I mean, Tom Hanks comes into play here. Tom Hanks is apparently like the Thanos of Wayfair sex trafficking. Like, it's weird. So first and foremost, for those that don't know, Wayfair is a website where you can buy furniture and just like household shit. Typically supposed to be affordable things, but recently people noticed that there's this extremely expensive shit like this here that has a name that matched a missing person. Or so they thought. It turns out the majority of the people that they've used in their examples in this conspiracy are children that have been found, and a lot of these kids, they themselves have come forward and said, hey, look, I'm not actually missing.
And then he gonna put his little, why is your caption even that? That don't even make sense. If you posting motherfuckers who actually missing, you trying to get motherfuckers to share the shit, what are y'all talking about? Y'all all sound stupid talking about why am I mad? Because I'm not missing. Fuck out of here.
Now, a lot of people in the comments on Twitter and on Instagram that I've seen were actually attacking the girl in the video I just showed you, saying that she must be in on it. You know, she must have just broken out of the cabinet she was sold in and is being forced at gunpoint to say these things, which is really weird to just start attacking her for being upset that people are perpetuating the idea that she was literally sold into sex slavery. That's a pretty fucking bold thing to say. That'd be something that'd make me mad if people were like, hey, Charlie, I remember when he was 14 years old, he was sold into sex slavery. I'd be like, hey, wait a minute. No, it wasn't. And that's kind of a mean thing to say. That just didn't happen. But people are so wrapped up in this conspiracy theory, they don't care that it was just outright disproven that this girl is not missing, nor she was sold in the cabinet. They just fall into this delusion and this crazy amount of denial where that doesn't matter. No. See, in fact, this actually proves our point, because she's clearly being held on a UFO that ordered this cabinet from Wayfair, and now they've mind-controlled her to say these things, so obviously it proves that we're right, and all kinds of crazy bullshit. It's like a shitty B-movie plot. And it's not just this girl that was revealed to not be missing, nor has ever been, like, sold in a cabinet. A lot of the popular pictures that were circulating, you could look up those kids and then find stories about when they were found earlier. Like, they were never in a Wayfair, you know, shipment facility or anything like that. Like this kid here with this pillow. People speculated that the pillow must not have any stuffing in it. It was stuffed with the kid's bones and blood. When it turns out, no, you know, this kid was found quite a while ago. And now, just because a lot of the kids were found and were never shipped through the evil laboratory of Wayfair or anything like that, it didn't stop the conspiracy theory. That didn't halt it in its tracks. People still believed it. And that's fine. You know, maybe there was isolated cases like, oh, we were wrong here. That doesn't mean the whole thing's wrong. Just because these were false doesn't mean it's all false. But it does, because, I mean, you can actually prove exactly why it's all wrong. We won't even go into Wayfair's official statement, we'll get to that in a second, but let's just use some common sense here. I believe the statistic is 1,250 missing kids are reported every day. 500,000 every year. Something like that, in that general ballpark. That's a lot of fucking names. That's a ton of fucking names. You could probably find some like Xbox Live gamertag level names in a sample size that big. Like fucking XX Shadow Slayer went missing a year ago. And you could find like an XX Shadow Slayer Wayfair pillow that's $9,000, I bet. It's a lot of names is what I'm saying. So it's not impossible that these companies chose a random name that happened to correspond to someone who went missing. And a lot of them are very common names. There's one that was circulating on Twitter that was Annabelle. Annabelle's a super fucking common name, and they just took that Annabelle listing of an expensive cabinet and matched it up with an Annabelle that was missing. You know, that's not a good connection. It's a very common name. That's clearly something that could happen on accident. But then there are those like really specific ones like I showed you with that boy and that pillow. But even that kid was found. He wasn't missing, and he wasn't ever stuffed inside of a pillow like some kind of crazy fucking Frankenstein experiment. He was just found. So it's not unfathomable that these random names they chose just coincided with kids that were missing at some point. But why were they so expensive? That's the biggest question. Why the fuck are these mediocre items so expensive? And I found the answer, or at least the answer the government, the man, wants us to see, I suppose, if you still want to subscribe to the conspiracy. A lot of resellers, what they'll do, when the item is out of stock, they jack the price up to an absurd level that they know nobody's going to try and buy, so that way they can keep it listed, as opposed to saying it's out of stock and taking it off listing. They jack the price up, they hold its spot until it's back in stock, and then they drop it back down. That's the tactic I saw a lot of people talking about that actually use Wayfair. That's what they were saying is commonly done there. I think that's a dumb practice, and Wayfair themselves have cracked down on it, it seems. Wayfair's statement says, you know, that obviously it's all wrong, but we did take these down because the names and the pictures don't exactly match why they're as expensive as they are, and the practices or some shit like that. It wasn't a great statement that did nothing to help their case in it being false. It just made it even more confusing because they just took the shit down, which made a lot of people believe that Wayfair was admitting guilt and hiding something. but according to a lot of people that use Wayfair, it's not something uncommon where they jack this price up to a point where no one's going to buy it just so they can hold their listing. And that does make sense. It makes a lot more sense than fucking pedophiles using Wayfair to sex traffic children. Are there sex trafficking rings from like extremely wealthy, powerful people? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah, there's a ton of evidence to point to that. But I highly doubt they're operating through Wayfair. That's like saying these people are using, fucking Twitch to start trafficking children through an XQC chat. It doesn't make any sense. Why would they be using something like that to do some shit like that? They'd be using the dark web or something. They wouldn't be going on fucking Wayfair just in the public's eye right under their nose like some kind of comical supervillain trying to fool everyone by doing everything in broad daylight. That just wouldn't happen. These are public listings. Someone could have accidentally ordered one of these expensive items. What's going to happen? They buy this cabinet and then all of a sudden they have a kid shipped to them. They open the box and then bang, a kid pops out and they're just fucking jump scared. Oh, whoa. Where's my cabinet? That's just not how it would happen. In fact, I actually tried to test this myself. I went on Wayfair with every intention of buying one of those $10,000 pillows that match the name of a missing kid, and I was like, shit, this is going to be expensive as fuck. I'm either going to get a terrible pillow or I'm going to save a kid's life. It's worth it. But I couldn't place the order because the fucking item didn't exist, which made me more convinced that, yes, this is probably just a common practice where when the item isn't in stock and it's not there, they just jack the price up, hoping nobody places an order or tries to, and wait until it's back in stock to drop it back down, just so they don't lose listing. This is another thing I saw develop today, actually. A lot of people saying that the CEO of Wayfair has resigned. Well, the problem with that is it's not true. He hasn't resigned. There's no reports of him resigning. Unless this Twitter account right here is like working with the, NSA or some shit, the CIA, and he's got some insider information, then I don't know what to tell you. But according to every possible fucking source, the guy has not resigned. He is still the CEO of Wayfair. So this is just an outright lie. Now we get to the main course. Everything I just told you about this conspiracy and all that shit, just an appetizer. Now it's time for the entree. And trust me, it's not raw. This is coming out well done. Tom Hanks, the puppet master. Beloved actor? No. Demon. Fiend. Tom Hanks has been roped into all of this because of one old Instagram post. This right here. It's a picture of a glove next to some chalk that says SRC USA or something similar. That's what it looks like. And this post right here is a very suspicious one. Now, admittedly, this is a weird fucking Instagram post. I don't know why Tom Hanks would just take a picture of a glove on the ground next to some fucking street chalk or anything like that. But it's correlation to everything going on here. People, Reddit detectives and Twitter experts, the analysts, they were able to crack the code. They realized if you type in a lot of the item numbers onto a Russian search engine called Yandex, it brought up pictures of children. So if you typed in SRC USA and a bunch of numbers, it brings up pictures of children on a Russian search engine. So they speculated these were pictures of the kids that were being sold in those cabinets. Or being sold with the cabinets. It varies depending on who you talk to on whether or not the kids were actually stuffed in the furniture or just came with it or something. It's, as like some kind of package deal, like batteries included or something. It varies on who you talk to, but that was the speculation. You type in this shit, you do it on the Yandex, and you get an image of what you're buying or some shit like that. And Tom Hanks has this really weird picture that does have something that looks like it says SRC USA. Except in this case, it goes so far above Tom Hanks, it's laughable. This is bigger than Tom Hanks. This goes all the way to the top. This incriminates the construction and utility workers. You see, SRC USA is construction utility code for Underground Service Alert. It's to let other workers know that, hey, at this location, with these, the white brackets and chalk there you can see, there is something that runs underneath the pavement, whether it be a power line, cable, water, it doesn't matter. There's something running underneath there, so just be aware. You can find this shit marked on streets all over the place. It's not something unique to Tom Hanks. I don't think he went out there with sidewalk chalk and wrote SRC USA to brag and then threw a glove on the ground. It's a stupid fucking picture. It's a weird, like, creepy little picture. The caption was like, give me a high five or something. I don't know. It's a weird picture. You're not going to argue that. But that right there is just an extremely common thing that you can see probably outside of your own house right now if you want to experiment. It's nothing unusual because it's actual just construction utility code. And that pretty much sums up Tom Hanks' involvement because of that one Instagram post. I don't think it goes any deeper than that I could find. But just because that's wrong doesn't mean the whole thing's wrong. I mean, Tom Hanks could still be this evil mastermind behind all of it. I don't know. He could pull in the strings. Maybe he has equity in Wayfair. Couldn't tell you. But in this case, I don't think Wayfair is selling human beings through their website. I don't think that's what's going on here. But again, just because everything about this conspiracy theory is wrong doesn't mean the conspiracy theory is wrong, you know? It's 2020, baby. We believe anything, whether or not it's factually true or not. Who gives a fuck? And that's about it. So yeah. This week I saw something so baffling that it's really genuinely making me question if the human brain is devolving, becoming smoother, less wrinkles. It's the case of the TikTok giant. For those that don't know, there was a TikTok creator who filmed a giant, mysterious figure on top of a mountain. Was it Sasquatch? Was it the Loch Ness Monster? Perhaps Goatman? No, he claimed that he had seen a giant. And TikTok absolutely ate that up. They devoured it like it was a full course of spaghetti and meatballs. Not only TikTok though, it then expanded to Twitter, where even more people started to believe that they had just seen irrefutable proof of a giant, because there was something on top of a mountain that was big. This whole thing is like a child believing the tooth fairy's real because when they put their tooth under their pillow, there's a quarter there. It is easily debunked and has been multiple times now, but then they just throw away the truth that's facing them because they prefer to live in the magic of there being giants walking amongst us here. It's a beautiful delusion, albeit very sad too, because people are also convinced that not only was this proof of a giant, it's proof that the CIA murdered the guy for filming the giant. I think people are at this point where they are legitimately believing everything as if we're back in the actual early ages of humans. I saw on TikTok and Twitter, this blew up. The TikTok giant. God, what was the guy's name though? There was a guy on TikTok who took a video of a mountain and there was a big figure on top of the mountain. It's like, oh shit, it's a giant. And then people believed it. They're like, we've seen the proof, the giants are real. And now the person behind the account's not posting. The person's gone missing. So they're like, the government must have got him and killed him for exposing the truth. It's so fucking crazy how, I actually think there have been irreparable damage done to the human brain because of TikTok. These are people, adults, actual adults. Why don't I just pull up the Twitter account that was talking about it? Talking about how it's the truth, there was really a giant there, we've known all along, and now that this guy blew the lid on it, the CIA got him and killed him. And then the guy leaned into it, he made this video about how it's all fake and it looked like a hostage video, and they're like, oh my god, irrefutable proof, you can see that the CIA is making him say these things. Where's the original post? Here's the video in question though. Andrew Dawson, thank you. Oh, it's a giant!
Person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
No.
I knew they were here. I've known all along the giants existed. They called me a fool. Also, it's dangerous to scroll in the comments, but I'm pretty sure, I'm not even gonna bother with the Council of Cock being down there as a possibility. Someone went on Google Earth. They went over that mountain and it turns out it's just a tower. It's just legitimately just a tower. But that didn't dissuade the believers. So, what they're saying is they must have built the tower after this video came out in order to hide the truth that there was a giant there. I shit you not. That was their explanation for it being a tower over there. They said that they made it. They put that tower in place in order to obfuscate. But this is what's on the other side. I think the top comment on this is still, the government put that there in order to hide the truth. I'm gambling, but I think I'm right with this. Okay, not the one. You, another person that's trying to keep information no one cares about hidden. Everyone knows it was a giant, everyone still doesn't care. We care about the man being murdered for discovering it, though. We don't trust you. Isn't that crazy? They think the government killed this guy because he caught a video of a giant. That is the human brain in 2023. He did exactly what I told you guys I wanted to do with this whole gullible TikTok brain rot. Remember when I was telling you guys my plan of doing like haunted videos around the warehouse where like chairs move on their own? He did that with this. So after he got that video, he made this video where he leaned into it, exactly what I said I would do in order to farm.
Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all of the videos that I posted were scripted. They were just fake. They were just strictly for it.
So, he leaned into it. He made this video like it's all fake, you know, this and that, and he made it look like he was under duress. So people are like, clearly the CIA got to him. They're making him say these things. He did every single thing I said I would do with my farming of these fucking idiots. And they believe him fully. They believe he found a giant up here. And then the government killed him. It's so good. We live in an age where everyone has access to a video recording device at all times. Pretty much every nook and cranny of the world's been explored. And a fucking giant would be one of the hardest things to miss. And somehow, this is a confirmed giant. And it's just a coincidence that there happens to be a tower on the other side of this. Wholeheartedly believe it. This isn't even the biggest Twitter thread about it. There was a thread by this lady who's in her early 30s talking about how the government can't be trusted because they're killing us for finding the truth of things they don't want us to know about, citing this video as an example of the giant. And I believe the same woman also started talking about how they're killing people who are finding gnomes. But I may be getting her confused with someone else that was talking about it. People legitimately are believing in fairy tales again. We're going so far backwards. Charlie working for the government. I'm trying to keep you guys from the truth. You're not ready for giants. Those fucking bastards. Filthy monsters they are. I'm doing you a favor. You're not ready to... You can't handle it. Now, looking into it, there was an obituary posted for this individual from a local news source. So it is possible that he did pass away in early 2022. But people are attributing that death to a mysterious circumstance, and it being the CIA that took him out, like it was fucking Jack Bauer on a vendetta to kill this man because he had seen a giant. Why? Well, I don't know. That's not a question that ever gets asked in these situations. Just going through any natural thought process here and breaking it down, what would the government have to gain from hiding giants? Unless they have some kind of secret alliance with the giant tribe, there's just absolutely no reason they'd want to shut this shit down. Put the kibosh on it. Or unless if you look at a giant in the eyes, it gives you eternal life or something, and the government's hoarding that to themselves, or their urine acts like the fountain of youth. Just nothing adds up here when you start connecting the dots. This isn't like a Men in Black situation where they're hiding aliens by going around and neuralizing everyone who sees alien activity, where the excuse there is they don't want people to panic. When it comes to giants, that'd be the hardest thing in the world to keep the lid on. Like the cat would get out of the bag so quickly. Because it's a fucking giant. They're huge. They're enormous. This one, assuming patient zero here was truly a giant, this one was spotted on top of a mountain fucking 40 miles away. So you'd have a real tough time. You'd have your work cut out for you to keep that under wraps. It just, like, and even if there were giants, the existence of them probably wouldn't cause a panic on the same level as, like, aliens or anything. There's absolutely no reason for the government to be hiding the existence of giants. And I can't believe I even have to say that. I feel like I'm having a conversation with, like, the D&D club at a middle school.
I think that's that same vehicle from... Hey!
Now let's break down this little humdinger here. People use this video as proof that the CIA was hunting him down and stalking him because he made this video. He's very clearly leaning into it, if you ask me. But let's do a basic thought experiment here. How likely is it that this is staged? Very. It got millions of views, so there's real incentive to play on it. How easy would it be to fake? Extremely. All you need is your friend to sit in a car outside and then drive away when you come out and yell at them. Like, just look at the video. There's just a random car out there with their lights on, So if they're stalking, they're doing a terrible job. They're just sitting right in plain view outside of his house with their lights on. That'd be the worst tale ever. They would be fired from the CIA immediately because they're fucking terrible at their job. Like at that point, the CIA might as well have a sign out there saying, "We're watching you. Honk if you like government surveillance." Like this would be genuinely the worst stalking ever from the CIA. And then the guy comes outside and scares the car away like a flock of pigeons on the beach. It's an extremely easy thing to stage. Where's the proof that that is some kind of unmarked CIA vehicle and an operative in there stalking him? The video just starts where he looks out the blinds and the car's already just sitting there in front of his house with his lights on. I think this is so clearly staged in order to play off of the success of the Giant video, because it got a lot of attention and a lot of engagement. Now, he hasn't posted on TikTok since 2022, and like I said, there is an obituary posted in a local news source, so it is very possible he did pass away, but I will tell you right now, I highly, highly, highly doubt the government had anything to do with that. Because, again, there's no such thing as fucking giants out there. Sorry to ruin Christmas, but it's the truth. It's a tough pill to swallow, but one you've got to grow up and take right now. I would love if there were giants out there. No one would be happier than me. I would absolutely be ecstatic to learn that giants really are out there and they're coming back. You know, and then they start their own sports league or something. It'd be amazing. I'd be super excited about that. I'd also love if there was a such thing as psychics and telekinetic abilities, as well as being able to form a Kamehameha ball in the palm of my hands if I focus real hard. I would love all of that kind of fantasy shit to be real. But it's not. So there's just nothing the government would do here about a man filming a video claiming he saw a giant, because giants aren't real. So they're not gonna fucking care. It's not like he actually exposed a government secret. They'd have no reason to go silence him. This is just a wild case of people believing anything and everything they see, for no reason other than they have fun believing it. And then they fight tooth and nail for it, even when they are faced with the absolute truth of what the situation is. It's wild. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. What are your thoughts about the whole eclipse situation on April 8th? So many political and biblical theorists are going nuts about it. What the fuck are you talking about? What kind of... Like, I understand maybe going, like, rapture for that, like, going down that path. We've seen that before. But what do you mean political theorists are going nuts over the eclipse? What could that possibly be in a political sense? What do you mean? That sounds like some absolute made-up nonsense on TikTok. How the eclipse ties into the Clintons or something. Bro, I work at a hospital and we're planning for it like it's the apocalypse. That is so concerning to hear. You work in a place of science. Why would you be planning for an eclipse like it's about to be doomsday? What? Okay, is there something special about the April 8th eclipse? What's happening? Is the Fire Nation about to attack with Sozin's Comet? Like, I'm so confused. What? It doesn't even seem like it's particularly special. I mean, here's what not to do during the total eclipse on April 8th. Total solar eclipse on April 8th. Millions of people from Texas to Maine preparing for a once-in-a-lifetime event that want to ensure they enjoy it safely. Total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, completely blocking the sun's face for up to several minutes. Do not look directly at the sun. You don't fucking say, huh? Except for the lucky people in the path of totality, it is not safe to look directly at the sun without proper eye protection, and sunglasses won't cut it. To safely view the total solar eclipse in 2024, you'll need glasses with solar filters, also known as eclipse glasses, or with handheld solar viewers. According to the American Astronomical Society, those glasses or handheld solar viewers need to meet the ISO 123122 international standard for direct sun viewing. Only when the sun is covered completely will it be safe to remove eclipse glasses, and they must go back on before the partial eclipse resumes and portions of the sun become visible again. Even if clouds obstruct your view during the April 8th total solar eclipse, special glasses or handheld viewers still need to be used. Cloud cover is not enough to protect your eyesight from the sun's rays. Classic fucking deep state trying to prevent me from getting superpowers from staring directly at this total solar eclipse. I'm not going to let the government dictate what I do and do not wear when looking directly at the sun. TikTok wasn't around in 2017, so we didn't get all the brain rot eclipse takes. Can someone... To the guy who said there's a lot of political theories regarding this total solar eclipse, can you send me one? Like tweet me one real quick so I can take a peek? Because what in the world? I don't understand. I can't even wrap my noodle around how that could make any sense. Employees at my dad's workplace said their local priest told them that the eclipse will result in 3 days of darkness, which is what allegedly starts the apocalypse. See, like, that kind of stuff I get. That happens all the time, anytime there's a solar eclipse. Like there was that radio host who convinced his followers that rapture was coming in a month, so everyone quit their job, bought an RV, and went on a road trip and waited for themselves to die, be taken to heaven, and it didn't happen, and the radio host was like, damn, must have got some wires crossed, I guess. Like that happens all the time. Big thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. You know how much I love Opera GX. If you ever tune into any of my streams, you'll see Opera GX exclusively being used because it's the browser I use for everything. I think it is the best in the business. It has tons of fun customization features to really make it feel like your own. It has a ton of really useful tools like a built-in ad blocker, which really comes in handy with the modern landscape of the internet, which is basically unusable without an ad block. And it has a lot of other really helpful tools, such as the ability to import your current settings from whatever browser you're currently using into Opera seamlessly, which makes it super simple, super seamless. Just very great browser all around. It's also very light, so it's not going to be tanking your performance if you're playing games while having Opera open. You can keep all of your messaging apps in the Opera browser, so it's nice and convenient. Also, there is a mod for me in there. I have my own Opera GX mod, and it gives you a wallpaper and some really fun themed sounds around myself. Yeah, baby! So yep, I think it's good fun. The Critical Moist mod goes pretty hard. Again, big thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Definitely check them out in the description. Remember when the world was supposed to end in 2012? Yeah, but at least that one had, like, historical backing because of the Mayan calendar. I remember being a stupid kid back then, and I was like, man, the world really might end. Like, I get that. You go back and look at the Mayan calendar. They were very smart people. The calendar ends here. It must mean that's when the world ends. Pack it up, I guess. I was a freshman in college during that point, and I was still a virgin, and I was like, damn, it's gonna suck dying a virgin. I did everything I could to make love before that day came, the day of judgment. I used to go out every weekend praying for the best. But when that day rolled around in December of 2012, I spent that day playing Halo 4 with a buddy of mine, knowing that if I'm sailing into Valhalla, it's gonna be in the saddest manner possible. The eclipse is just Joe Biden's domain expansion. That's why there's political theories. Yeah, it's Dark Brandon. He's casting his infinite Tsukiyomi. So fucking cool. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the level of the political theories on it. Oh wait, there was more to this. Solar eclipse travel could be treacherous. What, like driving at night? Like driving in some darkness? For those living in the narrow path of totality, little if any travel will be necessary to take in the full astronomical event. However, people across the US and likely the world will descend upon communities that aren't used to the popularity, and that has officials concerned. So much so that cities and towns have issued disaster declarations or declared states of emergency, while others have decided to close schools due to the expected increase in traffic and to keep kids safe from distracted drivers during dismissal time. I see. So this is why your hospital's prepping. Anticipating a bunch of fucking brain-dead zombies are just going to be too busy looking up at the sky and flooding areas that have like a totality view of it and just causing a ruckus and getting themselves hurt. I see now. You and the boys should make a video on who can look at the sun the longest during the eclipse. Actually, that's such a good idea. You know what we should do? We should do perineum tanning for it. That's the taint sunbathing. Where you put your legs over your head and have your balls and shit facing the sun. I bet you'd get a crazy boost in testosterone from a total solar eclipse blasting you. Should have you be like the Hulk from gamma radiation or something. The sperm would go blind. Yeah, it'd be so powerful. I'm in the direct path, and certain drive-ins and movie theaters are holding little tailgating events. I like how we're talking about it like it's a fucking asteroid hurtling towards Earth. I'm in the direct path. Meaning I'm in a really good spot to look up at the sky. Well, that's cute, though. That actually sounds wholesome. Please look up the red heifer cows. That's the issue. Wait, I actually know that. I actually know a little bit about that. But what does it have to do with the eclipse? I keep seeing people tripping about the eclipse and some red cow sacrifices. Some dude in Texas claiming to be a Christian sending cows to Israel for a Jewish sacrifice to usher on the rebuilding of the Third Temple. Pardon? I checked into it. Here are my thoughts if you care to listen. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm no expert. Can you even really be an expert on sacrificing red cows? It's nothing to be concerned with. There will be an eclipse and some extremists are going to kill some cows. If you're a conspiracy theorist and a Christian that was concerned, don't be. No man is going to get Jesus Christ to return. Only the Father will tell him when it's time. Nobody knows. So are we trying to summon Jesus? Is that what's going on? Like a ritual during the eclipse? Sacrificing red cows? No, this summons the Antichrist. Huh? No. Isn't the Antichrist I think it's like a week before Doomsday or something, and it's supposed to be like a really powerful person presents himself, gains a lot of influence really quickly, and he's the Antichrist who ushers it all in or something. I don't think it has anything to do with the red heifer. So does this happen every eclipse and we just don't know about it? Great question. I don't know. They're actually doing it. Look it up. Well, I have no doubt there's probably some people sacrificing red cows. Like that. I totally believe there's some craziness afoot with that. As we await... Oh, this happens every time. Yeah, wait, this is from 2017. As we await the eclipse of 2017 AD, this post examines the possibility that the dramatic repentance of... Yeah. So it looks like this does happen on every single eclipse. My mom told me to call off on eclipse day and get as much food and necessities as I can because she thinks there's going to be no light. It's like... I don't know, that's kind of cute. Like, I can't even falter for that. That's just kind of cute, I guess. But I mean, we conquered the darkness already. We have the technology. So let's just assume the eclipse for some reason takes away all natural light. Brother, half the people in this stream right now haven't seen natural light in years because we have fucking light technology in our house. We'd be okay. We'd make it. But what about the plants? Fuck them. Who needs them? We conquered nature too. We'll eat... We'll find an alternative. We'll eat I don't know, filter feed or some shit. I don't know. We'd find something.
With the fact that God created our universe. I mean, their symbol does have 3 sixes in it. And you guys remember the symbol I talked about earlier?
Oh.
This comes from their opening ceremony. You may be wondering, what even is that? As that is the head of the Baphomet. As you can see, it is a satanic symbol. Big question is, why would they have that at their opening ceremony? You want me to be...
Does CERN have opening ceremonies like it's the Olympics or something? What? I didn't know that. That's news to me. That opening ceremony looks out of this world, though. Is that the particle accelerator people were tripping over and saying that'll open a hole to another dimension or something? You're right and wrong. You're just getting a couple of different things confused. So when the LHC first got operational, there was a doomsday theory that by colliding particles at such a rapid speed, there was a small chance of creating a penny-sized black hole, which could eventually swallow the world. But that turned out to be a bunch of hullabaloo. As an engineer, it'd be so freaking sick if we were summoning demons or hopping dimensions or whatever, and not just calibrating sensors for hours. Yeah, I'd be happy to hear about that kind of stuff, different dimensions and shit. I feel like anyone would be excited about that. I don't know. We look at it as a bad thing. So what? A couple demons come through or something. We just close a portal on them. They don't have the technology in hell, clearly. And it confirmed the existence of hell, which would be a net positive for everyone, I would think. Then we'd know. Open my third asshole. Well, you're a little confused, but you've got the right spirit. That's a scientific mind right there. But anyway, come April 8th, get ready. The eclipse is coming and you can't stop it. And CERN's opening a portal on it or something. Right now, we are living in the golden age of information. The collective knowledge of all of humanity is right at your fingertips on the World Wide Web, the magical cyberspace. And actually, it's become somewhat of an overload of information because you can always find evidence to support any belief you want to have. No matter how unhinged or how unrealistic it is, you can find entire communities of people backed up by their own proof that is convincing enough for them and maybe even you. It's just a matter of asking, typing it in on a search engine, and you can find unlimited information to confirm any belief you want. So, it's clearly led to a problem where people are believing everything and anything. And that's not exclusive to just like dumb people. I see that cope a lot where it's like, oh, only stupid people fall for things like flat earth or goblins. Like, believe it or not, there is a very real community of people that post goblin sightings in the real world. I'm not yanking your chain. It is a community of people that believe goblins walk amongst us, and they'll take these little videos at night of what I imagine is just like little like raccoons or something, and they're like, holy shit, it's a goblin ran across my front yard at 4 a.m. And the same community exists for gnomes. Gnomes have recently been popping off in popularity with people believing there are actually gnomes that walk amongst us. Giants, another one. We recently had a big giant hoopla where a TikToker thought he saw a giant on top of a mountain, and a lot of people believed it. Point is, anyone will believe anything as long as they just want to, and they can always find evidence for it. And this extends to people that aren't just traditionally, observably stupid people. Anyone, regardless of their intelligence, can easily fall into this rabbit hole where if they hear something that sounds interesting, or maybe they just want to live in a fairy tale or, escape from reality, believe in fantasies, they can easily find evidence to cement those beliefs and have them locked into actually thinking that it's real. And they just kind of fall for it, even if they are just like actually smart people. It can happen. And this extends to even people in power, like the president of Mexico, who recently made a statement about an elf, believing that he had found a real elf picture. And he proudly posted this so-called elf evidence, and my God, how beautiful it was. Did you see the president of Mexico posted a picture of an elf he saw? Is it like a confirmed elf sighting? Mexican president posts photo of what he claims is a Mayan elf. Well, I'll withhold judgment. Let me take a peek here. A mischievous woodland spirit in Maya folklore. Jesus Christ, he's found it. That looks more like one of the NPCs out of Destiny 2 than an elf. This is like the world's most demented elf. Why does it shit look like Darth Sidious up there? How the fuck is that an elf? In what universe? Like, even suspending disbelief, like, obviously this is clearly not anything paranormal or any kind of cryptid. But, like, in what universe would this even be misconstrued as an elf? This is not one of Santa's little helpers, I'll tell you that much. It's 100% an owl doing a hunched shoulder thing. Well, bah humbug to you too, Ebenezer Scrooge. I think this could very well be like a Jawa, perhaps, from Star Wars. Maybe he was disassembling the president of Mexico's car or something and then ran away when he heard him coming. Goatman returns. Oh, no. You don't get a picture of Goatman. If you're close enough to get a picture of Goatman, you're already dead. That guy does not fuck around. I think Goatman is the only cryptid with an actual confirmed kill, because some group of teenagers that was hunting down Goatman fell off a train track. One of the teenagers fell off and died because Goatman resides at the other end of a train track. One of them fell off and died. So Goatman does actually have a kill under his belt. Goatman is real and he ate my ass. Yeah, I believe it. That guy's a fucking pervert, honestly. Mothman. Too small to be Mothman, and there's no giant wings. We watched an entire breakdown on the lore of Mothman. This looks nothing like him. Unless he's wearing a hoodie. It also looks nothing like this. I like how he puts the side by side, though. As if it's supposed to be, like, definitive proof. Like, look! They're the same picture. It's the same thing. This looks like a Jimmy Neutron carving. According to the traditional Maya belief, Aluxes are small, mischievous creatures that inhabit forests and fields and prone to playing tricks on people, such as hiding things. Some people leave small offerings to appease them. Well, why would you leave small offerings? Wouldn't that just entice them to keep coming back for the offerings? That seems like a terrible plan. That'd just make them gluttonous. You're feeding them? Interesting. Hey, maybe the joke's on us. Maybe he's right. Maybe that really is a little elf. A little goofball up there. This picture is from 2 years ago. What? I thought he took the picture. I thought that was the whole point. You're telling me this guy just Googled, like, Aluxes, whatever they're called? The fuck is the point of that? Massachusetts police on the hunt for a 200-pound stolen Shrek statue. Wow, that thing's beautiful. This is 200 pounds. This looks like someone made it out of clay in arts and crafts. I haven't read very much so far, but I'm going to tell you this feels like a psyop. I feel like this is all a big scam. They just wanted to get this in the headlines, so they made this knowing it's an abomination, a beautiful one at that, and they pretended that it's been stolen, reported it missing in order for all of the news agencies to pick up on it as a massive ploy. I see right through the scheme. Stolen by the deep state. Yeah. God damn it. The Illuminati's taking our Shrek statues.